Today I'm going to show you how to create a website fast, easy, and no experience is necessary. I'm John from johnansons.com. I'm not kidding, it will be fast, easy, and cheap, all under $4 a month. For our website, we're going to use something called WordPress. What is WordPress? So let's go to Google and type that in. Of course, Wikipedia comes up with a very complicated description. Open source blogging, content management system, PHP, MySQL. Oh my. Do we even understand what any of that is if you're a beginner? Probably not. What I do see is that 18.9% of the top 10 million websites as of August 2013 use WordPress. That's pretty amazing. Well, that's almost 1 in 5 websites are using WordPress. In simplified terms, WordPress is nothing more than a medium that will allow the user to create a very structured website without having to learn all kinds of code. Code is like a language, just like French, Latin, Greek. So what we have are themes, and themes are what the website will look like. We have plugins, which will perform certain operations within your website. These will all be explained much later on. Let's find out a little bit more about the users of WordPress. So let's go to Google once again. Check out this list of notable WordPress users: the New York Times, CNN, GM, eBay, just to name a few. We also have a number of celebrities that like using WordPress. There's Chuck Yeager, the first pilot to fly faster than the speed of sound. Many musicians like to use WordPress also. We have the Rolling Stones, Snoop Dogg, Katy Perry, Blondie, Motley Crue, and of course many actors like Howie Mandel, Jane Fonda, Bill Crosby. So I guess that says it all. So let's take a look at Google and find some really good WordPress web hosting companies. In my Google search, I use the phrase best WordPress web hosting, and this is the response that Google provided me with. Let's take a look at the first one in the list. Here we have a list of 6 different hosting companies that would be suitable for WordPress. At the top of the list, we have Bluehost, which is $3.95 per month. Second, iPage, $1.89 per month. And, of course, there's the other 4, all with various other prices. Now, I'm looking for a Canadian hosting company, so let's see what we can find when we go back to the Google search. Let's take a look at the top 10 Canadian web hosting companies for WordPress. Here's a good list. At the top of the list, we have HostPapa for $3.95 per month, iPage at $4.25, JustHost, and then there's a few more. It appears that HostPapa's got some really good reviews, so let's go visit the site. Let's take a quick look to see what HostPapa has to offer. First off, it's a Canadian website hosting company. Great. Start your website today. $3.95 per month. Special offer. 40% off. I see a lot of the hosting companies are offering specials right now, so this seems to be a good time to get in this type of adventure. What are they offering? Unlimited disk space, bandwidth, and email. That's awesome. Free site building tools and tons of website templates. Great. Free domain registration. I like that. Free forums, photo galleries, and shopping cart scripts. That's good also. 24/7 language support in any language you want, probably. And 30-day money-back guarantee in case you get cold feet. So let's get started and see where this will all take us. Now that we've decided on our web hosting company, in this particular case HostPapa, we'll use their secure order form. First off, I'm going to tell them I'm a new customer. Next, I'm going to have them register the domain name for me. Just simplifies the whole process. Next, we have to think about what do we want to call our domain. In this example, I'm going to use let's make a website today, and I'm going to look at the .com. Let's see if it's actually available. The domain that I selected is free. www.letsmakeawebsitetoday.com will be live and hosted by HostPapa in just a few minutes. But first, we have to provide them with our contact information and, most importantly, payment information. Once that's verified, you will receive an email. In that email, they will give you a link to where you can log in. They will also provide you with login information, which will include a username and password. I highly recommend that you print that and file it away in a safe place, because we will need that information later. I've just received the email from Host Papa. In this email, I have a link as to where I can log into Cpanel. I also have a username and password. Once I get into Cpanel at a later point, you can change your password to something that's much more convenient to you. For now, make sure you do not lose this information. Once you've successfully logged into Cpanel, the top of your home page will look something like this. At the very top, you will have additional services. At the top right-hand corner of the screen, there'll be Help, Logout, which is important because once you're done here, make sure you log out. And as you navigate through the different pages in Cpanel, the top left will have a little home icon, which you will press to get back to this page. Now, it's very important that you bookmark the location of Cpanel. Remember what your username and password is, because if you don't have that information, you're not going to get back here. Let's scroll down a little wee bit. Partway down, there'll be a section called Search Engine Marketing. In that section, there'll be a number of credits that you can apply to your website when you get a chance. There will be a $50 credit that you can use on Facebook, $100 credit towards a Google AdWords campaign. I've used the Google AdWords campaign in the past for one of my websites, and it's driven a bit of traffic very successfully to the website. Of course, there's a few others that you can explore once you become a whole lot more familiar with this brand new adventure you're undertaking. Let's scroll down a little wee bit further until we get to the Softaculous Apps Installer. In this particular window, what we're looking for is the WordPress icon, since this is how we want to create our blog or website. Okay, just move your mouse over to this icon and select it. Now we have the Softaculous WordPress installer open. In this window, what we're going to do is we're going to just select the install button. Now we're going to set up our WordPress installation. First, we're going to choose our protocol. Here we have to choose the type of hypertext transfer protocol we want to use. If your site is using a secure service, then you'll have to use HTTPS. Otherwise, just leave it at HTTP. Most websites you don't need to now put in the www. It's not necessary. The domain name that you've selected and registered with your web hosting company will appear where I have johnansons.com. Since I already have a website at johnansons.com and I want to create a new website under johnansons.com in a subdirectory, I'm going to type in my new subdirectory name. Most of you will just leave this box blank. The website that I will be creating today will be johnansons.com/elearn140. The Softaculous software has already created a database name for me, in this case WP77. Yours will be different. Whatever shows up, just leave it as the default and do not change it. To make your WordPress website a little more secure, make sure you change the table prefix. Normally it's set up as WP_. Add something else to it. In my particular case, I added after the first underscore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then a final underscore. Whatever changes you make sure that you end with an underscore. Now let's name our website. In my case, I'm going to call this e-learning in 140 seconds. You can put whatever you like here. If you don't like it later on, what you can do is you can change it once we have WordPress installed. It's quite easy to do. In the site description field, you can create a short sentence that will describe what your website is all about. Again, you can change this if you like once you have your WordPress blog up and running, so you're not committed to anything here forever. In this field, I will enter the following: Fast, easy, simple instructions to create a WordPress website. Select the admin username field. By default, Cpanel sets it up with the username of admin. You don't want to use that because it just makes it a little wee bit easier for outside infiltration into your website. Select the username that's unique to yourself. For this website, I will create the admin username, Professor John. Now it's time to create an administration password for your website. Each time you click on the little key icon at the right of the password box, a new password will appear inside the box. Just below the password box or field, you'll see a little green highlighted section telling you how strong your password is. So this particular password was somewhere around 60 over 100. You can add in more characters, uppercase, lowercase, and a variety of symbols to make the password stronger. Do not use dictionary type words for a password, as it makes it very easy for hackers to infiltrate your website and make changes to it that you probably will not like. In order to make my password stronger, I added in several extra characters, letters, both lowercase and uppercase, till I got a strong password response with 100 out of 100 rating. Now let's set up an administration email address. By default, the software sets it up with an email address of admin @ and whatever your domain name is. Most likely you don't have an email address of that nature, so just delete that one and put in whatever works best for you. Now we can select the language we wish to use on the website. Clicking on the down arrow in the Select Language box will reveal the various language options available to you. I'm going to leave mine set at English. In the Select Plugins section, there's an extra plugin that can be installed with your WordPress installation. It's called Limit Login Attempts. If you select the box, an extra plugin will be installed with your WordPress installation. I would recommend leaving this unchecked right now. Do not install it, because you're going to be brand new to your WordPress website and you may make a few mistakes logging in, and then you'll be locked out for a period of time and you'll become very frustrated. Once you're familiar with the logging in procedure, then I would suggest loading up this plugin. In another video, I will go through the procedure of installing plugins and which ones will be good to have just to get your website up and running efficiently. Just before we click the install button, what I would like to do is I'm going to open up Windows Notepad and I'm going to copy and paste the information that we just typed in for our WordPress installation. In all honesty, will you ever remember that password we just created? Not likely. So for our own sanity, let's do this, and it'll only take another minute or so. And then we can click install. You will get an email from Cpanel with your WordPress installation details. But in the event that maybe you made a typing error with your email address, I'm also going to create a duplicate record of my installation details. To do this, I'm just going to use Windows Notepad, copy and paste the information from the Cpanel page onto the Notepad page. Once I've got all the information copied and pasted into my Notepad file, I will save it into a secure location on my hard drive. Once we've completed copying the installation details into the Windows Notepad file and we've saved this file, then click the Install button. This is the window that you will see. My installation only took about a minute because I have an ultra high speed internet connection. Your installation may take a little wee bit longer if you have a slower internet connection. Once the installation has completed, you will get this window congratulating that the software was installed successfully. It will also tell you the location of where WordPress was installed and an administrative URL. The administrative URL will have the wp-admin / address added on to the domain that you installed it to. This is important because we need to go to that address in order to successfully log into your website. Let's have a peek and see what our website looks like. I've opened up Internet Explorer and I'm going to just copy and paste my address into the Internet Explorer address bar. This is the default appearance of our WordPress website. Doesn't look too appealing right now. Don't worry, we can still personalize it once we get into the administration portion of WordPress. Look at that, our website has only been up for a couple of minutes and we already have one comment. Unfortunately, this is one I probably will not be keeping, but in order to delete it, I need to get into my WordPress administration panel to do that. In order to make any changes to our website, we need to log into our WordPress administration panel. In order to do that, we will just add to the end of our current address / wp-admin / and then just push enter. Once you have the WordPress login page open, then we'll just open up Notepad and we're going to copy the administration username and the administration password into the appropriate fields and then log in. This will gain us access to our administrative portion of the website. After the successful login, we will now have access to our administrative portion of the website. WordPress calls it the dashboard. Clicking on the Customize Your Site button, we will easily be able to change the appearance of our website. The theme currently installed by default is called 2013. If you click on the down arrow to the right of the 2013 box, it'll tell you a little bit about it. This is what the front page of the 2013 theme looks like. You can scroll up and down. It doesn't look terribly exciting at this point. We can still personalize this theme, or we can load up another one, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. By clicking on the down arrow at the right of the site title and tagline box, we can easily change the site title to anything we want and the tagline to anything we want. And we can decide whether or not we want to display that information in the header text. When we expand the colors field, we can now easily change the header text color to anything we want. You'll get a color palette up, and if you don't like black, then you can choose any color of your suiting. By expanding the header image field, there are 3 other possible header images that you can choose from. None of them look terribly exciting to me at this point, and there is another way that we can load up our own image if you so desire. The last thing that we can change in this section is the static front page. We have 2 options. One that will show your latest posts with all of the older posts underneath the latest post, or have a static front page, or commonly referred to as a splash page. The static front page or splash page would contain your welcoming information into your website. Let's close this window and go back to the dashboard. If you want to change the look of your website, we can scroll down to the appearance bar, select it, and we can now change our theme, header, or background. Now we can play around with our themes. As you can see, the current theme is 2013. If we scroll down, the other loaded theme that we could install is 2012. If I'm looking for a specific look in my website, I can apply these filters, and then at the bottom of the screen click on Find Themes, and it'll search out the themes that have those aspects that you're looking for. If not, at the top of the screen there are a few other options for searching out new themes. Let's click on the Feature button and see what themes are being suggested to us. For illustration purposes, let's just take a look at the first theme and preview it. This theme is a little more impressive than the 2013 theme currently installed. Let's install this theme and see what our website actually looks like. Once the theme is fully installed, you'll see this window appear. Then click on the Activate button. Now I'm curious how this theme actually looks, so I'm going to click on the Visit Site button. So this is how our site actually looks like now to everybody out on the World Wide Web. Let's go back to the administrative panel, the appearance portion of our dashboard. I suspect that you probably will not like the header picture, so we can change that. So let's just scroll down to the header button and select it. From this window, we can easily load up a picture that resides on our computer. Or, if we have something already loaded up in the media library, we could choose one of those images. This theme is requiring images to be 1600 by 400 pixels, and those will be used as is. Otherwise, there'll be some cropping and adjustments made. You can easily add a background image or watermark to your website. This is where you would do that. Currently, we have 3 plugins installed. In the plugin page, we will see all of our plugins. Here is where we would either activate them, edit them, or delete them. Now, if you want to add new plugins, you can just click on the Add New. Plugins basically just have a very specific function or feature that will be added to your website. Some of these would include contact forms for people to email you, e-commerce for if you have something to sell, ways of controlling all your images. There's so many different plugins. Be really surprised as to what you can do and make the operation of your website a whole lot easier. Go down to the users section and you can see all the users that are allowed to interact on your website. Probably will only have one person right now. You can add more. You can even adjust your profile here by going to your profile. In this window you can see your username, your nickname, your email address as an administrator. You can even change your password, which I would recommend that you do every once in a while. In the General Settings window, much of the information here will be exactly the same as we set up in the Softaculous installation. Down at the bottom, we can actually change our time zone and date and time formats. You now have enough information so that you can select a web hosting company. It's not all that expensive. You can see that the installation of WordPress using Softaculous is really quite simple. And I've also showed you how to make a few basic changes in the appearance of your website. Feedback and comments are always welcome. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go to johnansons.com. Click on the link below.